One's ready. Go!
Hey everybody, welcome back to the One's Ready podcast. You're in the team room. It's me, Peaches, doing more solo stuff. Not to worry, I am trying to get better at it, so we'll go from there. Today, though, I want to bring to you 18 Alpha Fitness, 18afitness.com. Use the promo code the number one ready. Get yourself a tailor-made workout program to get you where you need to be. We're already getting towards the end of January, so the gyms are all empty at this point because everybody else has already given up, but not you. You're out there ready to get after it, whether you're training for selection, buds, SFAS, Air Force Special Warfare, doesn't matter. Even if you just want to get better in yourself, get a tailor-made program from Coach Edgerton. He will figure out what fitness level you need to be at, how much time we get there, and what your current fitness level is, and then he'll build you a custom-made program just for you. So 18afitness.com, promo code one's ready, get yourself a discount. Recently, I don't know, I guess it was probably about a week ago, I put out a story on Instagram because stripes.com had put on, well, I guess it's Stars and Stripes, whatever, had put out an article that was saying basically the Army's meeting its recruitment numbers and rejects the suggestion that it's due to the removal of woke policies. So in that, and I linked the article in there, and then I also put in there, hey, this is not political. I'm just more curious of anything and what's keeping you from joining. So I got several replies, so I'll actually go over them. But one of them right off the bat is actually, let me start that. I don't necessarily know that it's woke policies, in my opinion. I mean, I'd have to see the numbers, and I definitely don't have access to those kind of numbers. And I can only speak from an Air Force perspective because I don't know how much wokeness, DEI, or what other programs the Army is doing. What I do know, though, is that for the last couple of years, all of the services, to include the Marines, and the Marines were the last ones to do it, but they moved the goalpost. They had these forecasted numbers, and I don't know what they were like for each service, but they had these forecasted numbers, and then they were missing their goals. So what they did was, well, instead of just call it 20,000 people they wanted to join per year per service, like, hey, okay, we're not getting those numbers, so now let's move it down to 18, and we're getting, some of us are getting those numbers, others aren't. Well, let me move the goalpost again, and now we need 15, and hey, what do you know, you're getting 100% of your recruitment goals. Like, you can skew the data however you want, but that's what was happening. Now, maybe there's some legitimacy in terms of, hey, the DoD didn't actually need that many people, so it's part of our downscaling and that kind of stuff, which we are doing, right? We have been downscaling. We ramped up during GWAT, and this, for 20 years we ramped up, and ideally we're trying to get back to what we were pre 9/11. Whether that's right, wrong, or indifferent, I know there's arguments of, hey, we shouldn't have a standing army. I completely disagree with that, just in the way that some of the things that we do, like I'll just say, in special operations and pilots, right? You've got to do this stuff continuously, and you've got to be proficient at it. It's not one of the things that you just, hey, I can do it. Like, that's the kind of joke about the part-time National Guard or the Air National Guard, is that, hey, they're great people, but they're nowhere near as proficient as the active duty folks because they only do it, 1 week a month, 2 weekends a year, whatever, 2 weeks a year, in terms of a traditional guardsman. So you've got to be proficient, and the things that we do are hard. And to be able to jump right into doing A-10, F-35, F-22 air-to-air, F-16 close air support, jumping for us, diving for us, being able to call in close air support for PJs practicing medicine, trauma medicine. Like, those are things that you don't just do part-time or when it's convenient or when you need your currency. You've got to stay proficient on those things all the time. And it translates to so much more in terms of small unit tactics, CQB. That's why, some of the tier 1 units, they have actually a numerical value of how many houses and how many full mission profiles they have to hit per year so that they can stay proficient. And it's a high number. It's not just some like arbitrary, like, yeah, do this. Like, they have to be proficient. I mean, those guys will get ripped out to go do something in a split second. And, they'll spend a week, 2 weeks, wherever they need to be, do the thing, and then come back. And then when they come back, they are proficient, training every single day. They are on the range. They are doing long range shooting. They're doing CQB. They're doing demolition, breaching every single day. And you're like, dude, can't you get enough of that? No, you can't, because you need to get to the point where you never get it wrong. Or if something does go wrong, you're able to adapt and flex and figure things out. So, boy, I went off on a tangent there. No surprise to you. So yeah, the standing army thing I disagree with. But maybe we do need to downsize, because I do believe we have gotten inflated, and we've got a bunch of things. You heard the new Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, say that we have too many general officers. I probably agree with that. I think we do. I think especially the Air Force, has gotten really fat when it comes to general officers, and people in general, not just general officers. And the people have gotten fat too. Let's be real. We've talked about that many, many times. But so I don't know what is keeping people from joining or being hesitant. I know we have a lot of people that are patriots that want to join, want to serve, but they can't because of medical stuff. It's medical. Maybe they've got a colorful background, in terms of run-ins with law enforcement or something like that. But, that was in the past, and now they're better now. Maybe it's, they took medication when they were younger for ADHD or something like that, when they didn't even have it. It was just the teacher wanted them to sit still. So like, there's a bunch of reasons why people can't join even though they want to. But I want to know why, if you were eligible to do it, why aren't you joining? So these are the responses. One person wrote, and he said, it's more retention related, but he says, although this is retention related, I have had numerous guys ask to reenlist because Kamala Harris didn't win. So I was like, and my response was, oh, really? What career fields were they, out of curiosity? And he said TACP. So right, wrong, or indifferent, I do think that people will get out if they have a bad commander, unfortunately, or a bad commander, or a bad senior enlisted, or a bad supervisor. In my opinion, it's a bit short-sighted, but I've never had a commander or a command team that is so bad that I've been like, you know what, screw this, I'm getting out. So, like, I caveat that, right? But a commander is in the seat for 2, at the most 3 years, at the very most, and it's rare for somebody to be in there for 3 years. I think it's probably becoming more common now, but it's still rare for a commander to be in the seat for 3 years. Same with a senior enlisted. So you can do 2 years. You can do anything for 2 years. But so yeah, there are people that get out for bad commanders and bad command teams. But it's pretty wild to me to think that people would get out or stay in based off a presidential administration. I get it. They set the tone, they set the policies, they set the culture for the DoD at large. Same with the Secretary of Defense, though. Same with the Joint Chiefs. Same with the the Joint Chiefs, well, not just Joint Chiefs of Staff, but each of the service components, lead general and lead enlisted person. Same with the SEAC, the Senior Enlisted Advisor to the Chairman. Like, all those help kind of guide and set kind of the tone for the DoD. I just don't know, like, none of those have affected me so much that I would consider getting out. But that's me. So one person put woke policies, so they are all in on the kind of woke agenda. That is the reason why they weren't joining. Another one said, pay is a big factor. My wife and 4 kids, separation from the family in the pipeline, and the kids are little. Like, I see that is definitely a thing. For one, your wife and your family need to be in on you. Now, this is for sure specific to Air Force Special Warfare or any of the Special Operations Commands, because the pipeline and the training is long, is arduous, and you're gone a lot. So this would not be the factor for normal kind of Air Force jobs, but pay is a factor. So he's probably going enlisted. Yeah, you have less pay than whatever, or you have a really good job right now or a decent job right now where you're getting paid well and you would take a severe pay cut. Like, that's a real thing for sure. If your wife and your 4 kids is a lot. If they're not on board, then you're setting yourself and your family up for failure. And the kids are little, important time of their lives during their development. And considering you have 4 kids, I'm guessing they're probably all under 10, just separating out, maybe 8 and below. But yeah, I feel you on that one. I don't begrudge you at all for that one. But the woke policies one, like, yeah, there was woke policies, there was DEI, there was the COVID mandate or the vaccine mandate. I don't know. I can also see, I can agree with you of why you would not join at that point. But now if you're not paying attention to the news, there's a lot of things that have been rescinded now that President Trump is in. So I'm curious if that is still the case with you not joining. Somebody else said they're joining right now. Waiver process is taking a year so far. Holy cow, dude. A year? I wonder what kind of waiver that is. He doesn't say. But, dude, a year. So I would have to guess that is either medical, like in terms of something that you have that is disqualifying or requiring a waiver, medication that you took back in the day, or maybe you're waiting for a morale waiver. And a morale waiver would be something that is because you have a criminal background or something like that. Next one is joining regardless because it is my duty, obligation to my country, but I still worry that. So I don't know what you worry about, but rock on. I think that you can see that. I don't know, basically what I was saying in terms of the commander, the senior enlisted, just you can get past the wokeness or whatever it is. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. But he still worries. I don't know what he worries about, but I don't know. Can't tell because I can't read it in terms of there's not enough characters. I'm graduating college first. I'm glad you kind of brought that up. I don't see that as, that's just a delay. That's not you're doing it for policies or the current administration or anything like that. College first. Now, I do wonder, are you going to enlist or are you going to go officer? I know we've had some reels recently that garnered a fair amount of comments and engagement based off of people disagreeing. You know, you have some people that say, hey, if you already, the assumption is you already have a college degree, as in a bachelor's, a 4-year degree. Do you then go in officer right off the bat? You know, get a better paycheck, you know, starts your career. There's more professional military education opportunities within there. You know, you're going to have a better retirement paycheck, all that kind of good stuff. But you're not going to, if we're keeping in the Air Force Special Warfare, you're not going to get nearly the amount of team time that you probably want or the enlisted guys get, i.e., they get 3 to 4 years of actual team time post pipeline. That's about all you're going to get on the team. And if the big mish comes down, it's going to be an enlisted dude taking that big mish. Gone are the days, at least right now, gone are the days where we will send out officers to do stuff. You know, you do have your handful of dudes during GWAT, you know, your Barry Crawfords. I know he's okay with me saying his name. I don't know if the others are okay with me saying their name, so I'm going to hold off. But, you know, there were Kurt Bullers and Billy Whites and that kind of stuff that that did things as officers, but that was early days when we just didn't have the manning and the demand was too high. Now, enlisting with a college degree is a perfectly fine and perfectly normal. In fact, the gap or the delta between enlisted and officer education has closed and is rapidly closing. It's not all the way there yet, but it is. We have the most educated enlisted force ever, with all the different programs that exist. The post 9/11 GI Bill, the college repayment program, the Air Force Cool program, the tuitions assistance. Like there's all kinds of different programs out there, so everybody's getting their education. So that is not an issue anymore. But it is okay to enlist having a 4-year degree, even a 6-year degree. If you've got a master's, it is okay. Maybe you want to be a tactician over in a leadership role, and that's fine. You can spend 10 years or your entire career being an enlisted tactician, being the one that whenever things happen and things drop, you are the one that is called. Like maybe that is more important to you than taking a paycheck and having a paycheck. Like for me, it is. I always wanted to be the dude that when shit went wrong or somebody needed somebody, it was me that they were sending. I would not have been able to do that as an officer. Only as an enlisted dude are you that guy. Yeah, the pay is less than officers. Okay, I'm here to tell you, like, if you make good decisions and you're not frivolous with your money, you're going to be just fine. I live in a pretty good house. You know, I get by just fine. So I don't know. Just some thoughts. I know that there are countering opinions out there. So next one. They're making me wait 3 years for taking a mild antidepressant while in college. So that might be one of those, like when I talked about the year-long waiver, that might be one of those same kind of things. Dude, you gotta be careful with these medications. Here's another little rant. The American society is way over medicated. We I mean, just look at the commercial. If you're still on cable or whatever, look at the amount of commercials that we have on American TV that are all about medications. All about medications. I'm here to tell you, if you go to any other country, say UK, Germany, something like that, and you watch their TV, they do not have medications and prescriptions and stuff like that being advertised on their TVs. Now, the UK has a lot of gambling ones, so I mean, they love their gambling ads and their gambling apps, and their bookies. Like that's their vice, I guess. But they do not have prescription meds being pumped over TV in their advertising. And Germany doesn't either. I'm sure Spain, France, Portugal, all those other places are not doing that as well. We just can't get enough medication. It's wild to me. So with that said, if you're in high school, college, and somebody's pushing medication on you, maybe you do need it, but maybe you don't. So just do your own research, figure out if you in fact need it, because whatever you take, if you have plans in the future to join, whether it's officer or enlisted or in a guard or reserve, that medication that you're taking may not be allowed. And you may have to wait 3 years or a year, or it just may be completely just take you out of the running altogether because it's a banned substance or for whatever reason, and they won't take you at all. So you got to watch out for that. Let's see. Next one. I left the Air Force in 2022 because of woke leadership and policies. Time to finish college and return. Okay. 22, 20 through what, probably, was it 20 through 22 or was it 23? When did the COVID mandate, the vaccine mandate go away? I don't remember. That was a wild time. I remember if a commander was actually a good commander and used his brain or her brain, then it probably wasn't that bad in terms of the mask wearing and stuff like that. However, if you had a commander or leadership that didn't use common sense and was like, hey, orders are orders, we got to follow orders, which means you wear a mask in the gym, you wear a mask in meetings, you wear a mask everywhere you go. And for a while, there was a brief, very brief time, because they realized how stupid it was, that you'd wear a mask outside. If you had a command team or a commander that said, hey, orders are orders and we follow orders, then you were stuck doing that. And seeing it and being on the back end of it is wild now to think of how people just didn't use their brain, didn't see through it. And the fact, like, if you say orders are orders and we follow orders, Nazis followed orders too. Like, corrupt cops follow orders too. Cops shutting down or going and policing people during COVID mandates, going into people's gyms, bars, restaurants, or whatever, and shutting them down. That's following orders. How'd that work out? What do you think about those people now? It doesn't sit right with me. But I think it's awesome that you held to your convictions. You left the Air Force in 2022 due to woke leadership policy, but you're going to college and you're coming back, and you're going to be better for it. So right on, man. Next one. I didn't join the Army because they don't treat their people as well as the Air Force. They totally agree. And I think you've hope maybe you've seen me on the War Room podcast. I fill in for Aaron occasionally, and we've got a couple Green Berets on there usually. Like you've got Jay Delorius, who is a prior Green Beret. Then you got Jake Zwick, who is a SEAL. Then you got Ben Pappas, who's a Marine Raider, and then usually they bring on, you got the token Air Force guy, but then usually they'll bring on a guest, and usually they're a Green Beret. At least that's been my experience. And even they will tell you the Air Force treats their people better. I'm not saying that they would have done something different. I'm just saying that, that's the kind of running joke is, yeah, okay, you may be a Green Beret, but guess what? You're still in the Army. At least the Air Force, we do tend to, generally speaking, we have better base locations. Yeah, we do have some that are not great. And then, you have the Navy that has Coronado or, stuff in San Diego, great spots. We also have some coastal Air Force bases as well. Um, but it, typically speaking, we do have better bases. And we treat each other the Air Force treats us better. So I don't necessarily disagree with you that there, dude. Let's see. Another one said they're finishing their college degree. Rock on. Another one says, I'm in now, but delayed joining for 2 years because of the COVID vaccine. Yeah. I wonder how many other people actually did that, delayed, just to wait that out, because you could see that it was going to go away. You could see that it wasn't real. It was a manufactured requirement. But I do wonder how many people waited to join because of that. This person said, joined 20 years ago today, medical retirement in 2011. They won't let me back in. I'm guessing because of the medical retirement, which if you guys aren't tracking what a medical retirement is, usually it happens. You can have medical retirement, or you can have an MEB. It's a medical evaluation board, I think is what it is. Usually, if you're not at 20 years, it's called a medical board, which means you're separated from the Air Force medically because you're unfit to serve, or you have something that is so just detrimental to your health that you're no longer worldwide deployable, or it's just your condition is going to get worse and that kind of stuff. And so they separate you medically, and you go through this entire medical review board and all that kind of stuff. And there are some benefits. I say benefits. There are some entitlements that you'll receive for the medical board or the MEB. A medical retirement means you're past 20 and you have some medical issue going on. Same kind of thing as a med board. You'll see a panel member, and your board will get, or your medical records will get reviewed and all that kind of stuff. And then even though you want to serve and you're past 20, they'll go, sorry, you can't. Your condition's too detrimental to your health, the Air Force, all that kind of good stuff, and they'll medically retire you. There's different entitlements and benefits with a medical retirement versus a medical board. If I got that wrong, for any of you out there that have gone through this, if I got that wrong, please let me know. I'm sure there's some little nuances that I have left out, but there's kind of the overview of it. So hence they won't let you back in. It's just like if you serve, even if you didn't get medically retired or medically boarded and you want back in, if you have a certain VA rating or certain things in your record, even though it's not a medical separation, if you have certain things that you have claimed in your VA disability rating, you still can't get back in. But that's not to say that if you have a VA disability rating, depending on the amount and what it is, you still can get back in. But, like I said before, depends on what it is and the amount and all that kind of stuff. So yours is obviously too bad. They won't let you back in. Next one is, I'm finishing college and waiting to see if bonuses increase under the new POTUS. I mean, they might, but they might decrease when you start thinking about what is it, DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency. They may actually, look, the government civilians in the executive branch are on a hiring freeze right now. As they start going through things, maybe things loosen up, maybe things get tighter. So I don't necessarily know that bonuses will increase. They might, though. But I guess the way I look at it is, sure, if you're finishing college anyway, so whatever, you're not on a, I mean, you are kind of on a timeline, but you have time and you're doing something right now. I think if you don't have much going on and you're like, well, I might want to join, but I'm gonna wait. That's like waiting for a new computer to come out or a new phone to come out. You're you might wait 6 months, but my phone's broke right now, or my computer's broke right now. But I really want that new processor. I really want that new camera, but it's not coming out for 6 months. If it comes out at that point, might be a year from now, and you're gonna wait. But you don't have a phone, you don't have a laptop. So I don't know. I don't necessarily know that I would wait for bonuses to increase potentially. But again, you're finishing college, so whatever. Next one's currently a civilian career. Currently a civilian career in parent disapproval. Okay. Well, civilian career, right on. Good job. Good on you. Happy for you. Like, and that makes sense, man. If you're doing whatever as a career, as a civilian, and it's a good career and you enjoy it, and you don't have this little thing in the back of your head that's like, hey, could I have done this? Like, dude, that's awesome. Congrats. Keep it up. No one blames you at all. What I can't get past though is the parent or parental disapproval. That's one you need to get, especially if you're 18 or beyond 18, which if you already have a civilian career, you're probably beyond 18. Dude, what are you doing? It's not their choice. they it's not their choice. Who cares? I get it. I care what my parents say or think, but I'm also not going to allow them to dictate my life. And I think if you stick by that, I think you'll end up regretting it, because you're going to go, could I have made it? What would my life have been like? And it wasn't a choice that you made if you're allowing your parents to dictate whether or not you join or not. And if you're the parent, how dare you? You're keeping your son or daughter from joining because you disapprove. Man, grow up, Peter Pan. If my parents told me no, it would make me want to join even more than I already did. And I've got great mom and dad. I had a great upbringing. Not a broken home, no issues, no nothing like that. But I'll tell you what, if my mom and dad said I couldn't join, dude, get out of my way, because I know I said I'm joining in 6 months. Dude, if I can leave tomorrow, I'm leaving tomorrow, just because you guys didn't want me to. So, something to think about. Next one is Trump is not elected yet. Got to make it official first. Well, dude, I'm recording this on 27 January. He's been in for 1 week now. There you go. Next one is in my early 20s, in my experience, the main reason is woke shit for people my age or younger. Okay. Yeah, I mean that was kind of the whole premise behind the article that the Stars and Stripes put out there, is that more people are joining now because of the woke agenda, and DEI is going away. And like I said, I can only speak from the Air Force perspective about how much we had or we didn't have. And I also think that it depended on your organization. Like my organization that I worked for was 100% and entirely merit based. Everybody was hand selected to be there. Everybody was the best at their job. Everybody there busted their ass. I obviously, maybe I'm naive to it, maybe I'm blind to it, just based off of the position that I held there. But I I would be willing to bet if you asked 99% of the people, they were there and they got to where they were off of merit, not because of some DEI woke policy. But I also will agree with you that that is not the Air Force or DoD as a whole. I'm talking about some very specific organizations. So I don't know, maybe you're right. Next one is recent medical issue that will keep me from enlisting. So it goes. Yeah, I mean, we already talked about medical stuff, so I won't address that again. Where'd it go? All right, next one. Their base locations are effing terrible. Well, the Army, yeah, for sure. Air Force, not so much. But like I said, we do have some not so great ones for sure. So I won't blow smoke up your ass there. Next one is joining after college, but the woke policies was the biggest annoyance when choosing. Yeah, I mean, I think take two minutes back when I was talking about the organization that I was part of. This is one of the reasons why I also will contend that I am naive to the Air Force and the DoD, because I've spent the last 25 years kind of living in a bubble. Whether it's in special operations or at the weapons school. Like, totally agree. I was living in a bubble. I don't know what the rest of the Air Force is like. I don't know what the real Air Force is like. I just don't know, which might be good, but it has definitely hurt me in other ways when it came to, hey, this is how the Air Force works. How can I help other people out? Get assignments, get what they need, or different programs that exist. Because I didn't know what the Air Force provided. I didn't know what the real Air Force is like because I was in this bubble, this merit-based bubble. So I can't say for sure. Maybe all these people are right, that it was woke policies and DEI that people didn't join for. I don't know. Next person said they were disqualified. That's all they put. And then the one after that said family, expecting my first child. Yeah, dude, if I'm expecting my first child, I'm not joining yet. I may do a pregnant pause on that, if you will, just to see how things go, see what comes up, see if there's any issues. So best of luck with you and your new kiddo. I don't know when he or her is due, but good luck with that, and I hope they're super healthy. But I would probably do the same exact thing you are. I would probably wait, if I could, maybe. But at the same time, I mean, it also depends on how far along they are in the pregnancy, right? Towards the end, yeah, I'm not joining. But at the very beginning, potentially, because if I'm joining a regular Air Force job, not Air Force Special Warfare, because I would even if she's just got pregnant and then you're shipping off the basic, yeah, dude, I'm still not joining the pipeline to go do that. I'm going to wait. But that's me. Let me see if there's any more here. Nope, there aren't any more. So that is just so that everybody knows kind of what we're kind of diving into, or what I was diving into, was just talking about the recent article that the Army was meeting its recruitment numbers and rejects the suggestion that it was due to woke or DI policies being removed. So right, wrong, or indifferent, those were the responses I got. And then that's just me reacting to the responses in hopefully some kind of coherent ramblings. But I do know and recognize that I go off on tangents. So that's it from here. You guys take care. Don't forget to head over to ONESREADY.com. Oh, that reminds me, actually. We are revamping the site. We're actually moving away from Shopify because in my opinion, it is so difficult and confusing to use. So we are going to go back to Squarespace. So our site is going to look a lot like it used to, because we're going to use the same template. But what it also means is that we won't be selling Attack Elite gear on our site. So Attack Elite gear will have to be at attackelite.com. We'll figure out the promo code, whether it's going to be ONESREADY, a different promo code, and or its own URL or its own link to Attack Elite that kind of builds in the discount kind of thing. So we're still working through that, but we'll announce it whenever it comes out, and you will be one of the first people to know. But for now, you can still go over to onesready.com, purchase a shirt, purchase a flag, purchase any of the Attack Elite gear as you are training for. And don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and then leave us a review. Light up.